Problem number 15. SCI is a US based multinational company engaged in manufacturing and marketing of printers and scanners. It has subsidiaries spreading across the world which either manufactures or sells printers and scanners using the brand name of SCI. The Indian subsidiary of SCI buys an important component for the printer and scanner from the Chinese subsidiary of the same MNC group. Okay, so SCI is the US based multinational and it is having various subsidiaries. So one of the subsidiaries in India also, and it is purchasing some and it is importing some important components from one of the Chinese subsidiary of SCI. Okay, and the Indian subsidiary buys 150,000 units. 150,000 units they are buying per annum from the Chinese subsidiary at 30 yen per unit, and pays a custom duty of 29.5% of value of the components purchased. Okay, so that was the information regarding the Indian subsidiary is buying some important components from one of the subsidiary of SCI at 30 yen per unit, and number of units are 150,000, and since it is importing they have to pay custom duty also at the rate 29.5% of the value of the components purchased. Then there comes another subsidiary, a Japanese MNC which manufactures same component which is used in the printer and scanners of SCI, has a manufacturing unit in India. It is manufacturing in India itself and is ready to supply the same component to the Indian subsidiary of SCI at 320 rupees per unit. So if I am able to get 320, I don't have to pay this thing custom duty and all. Okay, then SCI is examining the proposal of the Japanese manufacturer and asks its Chinese subsidiary to present its views on this issue. The Chinese subsidiary of the SCI is informed that it will be able to sell 120,000 units of the component to the local Chinese manufacturer at the same price, that is yen 30 per unit, but it will incur inland taxes at 10% on the sales value. Variable cost per unit of manufacturing the component is 20 yen per unit. The fixed cost of the subsidies will remain unchanged. So what the SCI is saying, SCI is asking the subsidiaries to examine the proposal of the Japanese manufacturer. In reply, the Chinese subsidiary is saying that if I am not supplying that 150,000 units to Indian subsidiary, even though I am able to sell some 120,000 units in my local market itself at the same price of 30 yen, but only thing is that if I am selling in the local market, I'll have to pay 10% on sales value as inland taxes, and my variable cost is 20 yen per unit. Okay, fixed cost will remain changed. Okay, the corporate tax rates and currency rates are as follows. China corporation tax rates are there: China 25%, India 34%, USA 40%. Then exchange rate are there. Exchange rate is there: $1 61.15, $1 to yen is 6.25, 1 yen to rupees 9.80. So our requirement is only yen to rupee. Prepare a financial appraisal for the impact of the proposal by the Japanese manufacturer to supply components for printers and scanner to Indian subsidiary of SCI. Present your solution in Indian currency and its equivalent. Okay, so because they said we have to present in Indian currency only. Then second question, identify other issues that would be considered by the SCI in relation to this proposal. While doing this problem, use the only information provided in the problem itself and ignore the Actual taxation rules or treaties payable in the above mentioned countries. Obviously, nobody knows the treaties and all while doing this problem. Fine. The solution is, so question. I hope you all understood the question. And just two proposals are there that Chinese subsidy is already supplying. Okay. Now Japanese subsidy, which is already situated in India, they are coming up with proposal that they can supply at 320 rupees per unit. So which one is going to be more beneficial for the SCI group as a whole? That's what we have to give our suggestion upon. So impact is the proposal by the Japanese manufacturer to supply components for printers and scanner to the Indian subsidiary of the SCI. So what is the impact on Indian subsidiary of SCI? So 1,50,000 if they are purchasing from Japanese, no? So 1,50,000 into 320. Okay. So see, cost will be okay when first they are seeing from Chinese, then they are seeing from first they are seeing from Chinese, then they are seeing from Japanese. Anyway, you can do. So cost of the purchase from the Chinese manufacturer, what it was, 1,50,000 into 1 lakh. This is 1,50,000 into 30. Okay, that is in yen, into 9.80, because they asked us to do it in Indian rupee, Indian currency. So there's a 1,50,000 into 30 into 9.80 rupees. So amount came 441 lakh. Then add, we have to add, because we are importing, we have to add custom duty also. So on the value only we have to add. So 441 lakh into 29.5 given in the question itself, 29.5%. Okay, so that means the total cost of purchase from the Chinese manufacturer. Now if we are purchasing from Japanese manufacturer, invoice amount will be 1,50,000 into 320. So 480 lakh. 480 lakh, that's it. That's all we are going to spend it. So how much we are able to save it? So if we deduct this from this, we can see almost 91 lakh, 9,500 we are able to save. Okay, since we are saving it, tax will increase, our tax burden will increase. So after tax, what is the net saving we can have? So in India, what is the tax rate? 34%. So 30% apply on this 91 lakh 9,500, 30 lakh 97,230. So savings after corporate tax is 60 lakh 12,270. So this is the impact on the Indian subsidy. So what is the impact on the Chinese subsidy? They are going to lose the contribution, because they are not able to, if they are not selling in Indian market, how much they are not able to sell at all is 30,000 only, because the 1,20,000 anyways they are able to sell it their local market itself at the same price. So how much they are going to lose? That additional 30,000 units which they were able to sell in India. So 30,000 units into contribution per unit is, because they are selling at 30, they are selling at 30, this one 30, and variable cost is 20 rupees. So contribution is 10 rupees. Okay, so 30,000 units into this, only I'm telling 30,000 units. Okay, 1,50,000 minus 1,20,000. So 30,000 units into 10 yen into 9.80. So 29,40,000. And since they said also that they will have to incur that local taxes and also pay. Okay, say inland, this inland taxes, they have to incur 10% also as well. So how much they are selling in China, if they are not selling in India? 1,20,000 units, no? So 1,20,000 units into 30 yen into 10%. That means tax they are paying. So in Indian currency, 9.80, 35 lakh 28,000. So that means total loss they have to incur, this loss of contribution and this additional tax which they are paying. So total loss is coming 64 lakh 68,000. 64 lakh 68,000. So since loss has increased, we will be saving on tax. So what is the tax rate in China? 25%. So 25% on that 64 lakh 68,000, 16 lakh 70,000. So net loss after corporate taxes 48 lakhs 51,000. Now on the SEI group as a whole is saving from Indian subsidiary. There is a loss from Chinese subsidiary. So but net benefit is there in SEI group. So from the above analysis, it can be seen that the proposal from the Japanese manufacturer in India is beneficial for the SEI as it gives a net benefit of 11,61,270. So financially, if we see, we can close our eyes and we can accept this proposal. But see, in question they are asking other issues which we should consider, which the SEI should consider in relation to the proposal. So those are, the SEI need to consider various other issues before reaching at a final decision of accepting the proposal of the Japanese manufacturer in India. A few suggestive issues that should be considered are as follows. The longevity of the proposal of the Japanese manufacturer. Whether the Japanese manufacturer will supply the components in the future also. For this purpose, a long-term agreement between the Indian subsidiary of SEI and Japanese manufacturer in India needs to be entered. Okay, so we have to see whether it's going to supply for a longer time or not. It should not be like one time, two time they gave the proposal, they supplied the material, and after that they just like that refused it. So ultimately loser will be the SEI only. SEI is Indian group only. So that point you have to keep in mind before accepting this proposal. And then certainty of the fiscal policy in India. The Japanese manufacturer will not be able to supply the component at the present price if the fiscal policy of India will change in the future. For example, see the now GST has come. Like that. What if they what if they bring some one more tax? So it will become adverse for the Japanese manufacturer. So ultimately, if more tax the government will levy, if the fiscal policy has changed, more tax the government has levied, obviously the manufacturing cost will go up, so they will not be able to supply at the same price. That also we have to keep in mind. Then repatriation of profit on India. Repatriation of profit on India is like FEMA restricts the companies to repatriate, means whatever these foreign companies are coming earning in India, they cannot take just like that 100% of profit out of India. Okay, so those things also, like what are the restrictions in FEMA, those things also the company should keep in mind. Like, okay, if I'm earning profit, I should be able to take back to my home. Otherwise there is no use of earning a huge profit when you're not able to use it for your home. Okay, so though the Indian subsidiary is making profit, but it depends on the government policy on the repatriation of profit from India to USA. Then operating conditions in China. The SEI has to make sure that the Chinese subsidiary is operating profitably and able to use the spare capacity in the future as well. Okay, we have to take care of that subsidy also, no? It should not be like that is incurring loss after loss. They will also get discouraged. So for that sake, SEI has to take a proper decision that even they should be encouraged enough to have that unit live. Then the fiscal policy in China. If the government of China liberalize its fiscal policies in China in future, then the manufacturing cost will be cheaper than the today's cost, obviously. So if that is getting liberalized, they can supply at a lesser cost, at a lesser price. So it may be even profitable than what the Japanese manufacturer is supplying. Okay, so apart from above suggested point, in the foreign relations and other tax treaties and accord should also be kept in consideration. Okay, so apart from all these points and all, the relation which we are maintaining with the one country maintains with other country. Okay, so that gets affected if we take this kind of decisions. So those things also should be kept in mind. That's all.